Maw's best. Today we're going to make Snickerdoodle cookies. You know, it's fall and nothing goes better with fall than cinnamony, crispy cookies. So first thing we do though, wash our hands good. I have all the ingredients here, and my little granddaughter is setting this up for me, so she's going to add the ingredients to the post as we go, so you'll have the recipe. The first thing we do is we take a cup of shortening, and I'm using Crisco here, and we cream that together with 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. So it's going to be a little noisy, but let's see if we can get this going good. And once it's mixed well, we'll add 2 eggs. I already have those broken here. Might need to scrape the sides a little bit. Snickerdoodles are just, I think, a great cookie for the fall. They're spicy and crunchy, but yet they're a little bit chewy too. And the reason for that is that we add cream of tartar to it. It gives a kind of a tart taste, and also changes the texture just a little bit. All right, now we're going to add 2 eggs to our sugar and shortening. And let that mix together. Let's scrape the sides again to get it all down in there. Now we're going to sift our flour and soda and salt together. We have 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. That's the kind that does not have the salt and baking powder in it. It's the plain, some people call it plain. We're going to put our salt and our soda in. That's 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to sift this together. Okay, make sure we don't have any lumps. So we have, in our mixing bowl, we have 1 cup of shortening, 1.5 cups of white sugar, and 2 eggs. And we have blended those well. And now we're going to add 2 3/4 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Now this is the thing that gives Snickerdoodles the unique flavor and texture. So we'll add that and just kind of mix that up good. And now we're going to spoon this into the mixture that we have here. You know, when you make cookies like this and you've got little ones at home, it's always good to let them help. It's making memories. I know I did that with my kids, and now our daughter's all grown up and has kids of her own, and she still loves to bake. And so we mix this up. And that's a pretty thick batter. I'll show you that in just a minute. As you can see, right here, you have to kind of scrape it off of the mixer paddle. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare our pans for this. Also, I wanted to tell you, you need to have your oven preheated to 375 degrees. Okay. Now let me show you what we do to our pans. First of all, let me explain about these pans. They are clean. They look really like there's something on them. There's not. These pans have been around for probably 40 years. So as you use pans, they get what I call seasoned. So they're clean. I wash them every time, but they have some browning residue on there, but you know, it doesn't hurt a thing. And what I do, I spray my pan just a little bit with Pam or a sprayer. You can even grease it with just a light thing of Crisco. And what that does is it holds your parchment paper down. Otherwise, you're going to be biting your parchment paper until you can get your cookies on them. So now, I've got the pans ready. I like my cookies to be the same size, if possible, because it just makes them look pretty. So I use, this is if I measured it out, that's a tablespoon. It's a scooper. You can get them most anywhere. And I use that to make my cookies so that they will be all the same size. And what we do is we take our scoop and just make sure that it's flat so that it doesn't, we want to make them all the same size. Now you can use gloves with this if you want to, but it's not too messy, so I chose not to use gloves. Now I have 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon on this saucer. And all I'm doing is I'm rolling that little ball in that mixture. Now you want to put these about 3 inches apart because they're such a nice, pretty size. We don't want the corners to be flat. We want them to be nice and pretty around. So we'll put 3 right there. Now this recipe, I believe this recipe it says 36, but I believe, I make them small, so I believe it will come out to more than 36. But it's a good size, you know, and then they're small enough that you have an excuse to eat 2. Okay, we've got a pan ready to go in the oven, and our oven was preheated at 375. We're going to put this on the top rack and let them cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Sometimes it's according to your oven, it may take just a little longer. Just, you can kind of tell when they're done. They kind of flatten out and they get a little bit brown around the edges. Just don't want to burn them. Our first sheet of cookies has come out of the oven, and it's always good to let them rest for a few minutes on a rack to cool. See how they're all nice and the same size? That's the reason I love to use the little scoop. Now we'll let those cool a few minutes, and we have our second sheet in the oven right now, and when they're finished we'll come back and talk a little more about it. Well, our Snickerdoodle cookies are all finished. That recipe makes about 40 if you use the 1 tablespoon scoop like I did. And see how nice and round they are, and they're all real close to the same size. They make a beautiful cookie to give as a gift. So I hope you'll try these and enjoy them. Make them for the holidays or make them right now. It's fall. It's time for fall cookies. So I'm going to taste the one like I always do to see how it is. Oh, yum. It's crunchy, but it has a chewy center. Very, very good. I think you'll enjoy these. Our Bible verse again for the fall is, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good." Psalm 118:1. Hope you'll come back to see me soon.